Welcome to the Gatekeepers Podcast with Billy Grove, where the fence world gets real, raw, and unfiltered. Billy's not just an industry leader, he's a hands-on pro who knows what it takes to build quality fences and strong teams. So grab a cold one, settle in, and get ready for straight talk about the trade. Today's show is brought to you by Mr. Fence Academy, National Metal Industries, J.C. Gurry Signs and Decals, and Orlando Hinge Company. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. Real fencers, real job sites, real training equals real results. And now, live from the Mr. Fence Academy studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, Fence fam? How is everybody doing on this fabulous Tuesday evening? It's good to be back in the studio, in the chair. It was nice to have a week off last week, though, I will say that much. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week. We got a real fun show lined up for you tonight. Oops, wrong way, turning that. Sorry about that. We got Mr. Blake Thomas on from Vinyl Fence Warehouse. You might have seen him on like social media with those cool little TikToks or Facebook Reels that he's putting out. Pretty cool stuff. But we got him on the show. Like first and foremost, we gotta thank the sponsors who make this thing happen, like week in and week out. And I don't know why my camera's moving around all crazy like, but it is. I guess it just wants to follow my hands. But first and foremost, guys, if you are in the market to up the level of your fence company, whether it be the business side or the installation side, go check out Mr. Fence Academy at www.mrfenceacademy.com. And go from there. Get yourself to a training, get yourself some like business advice, all that stuff. Secondly, we got National Metal Industries, guys. If you're still in the market for privacy slats for chain link materials, chain link tools, got some really cool pliers and stuff. Go hit up National Metal Industries at www.nmifence.com. And if you are still in the market for a fence sign, like the number one most asked question right in front of where do I get privacy slats for my chain link fence? Come on, camera. What you doing over here, man? Come on, man. We just took a week off. Go check out JC Gurry at www.jcgurry.com. All signs are made in the USA and come with Mylar protection, making that fence sign look brand new years down the road. Last but not least, damn, man, I think the studio is mad because I took a week off. The damn sign just fell on my head. But last but not least, guys, Orlando Hinge Company. If you're struggling with like your clients wanting a double drive gate and one side of the gate is swinging uphill, go check out Swan Hinge at www.swanhinge.com. I promise you they've worked. I'm not just saying this. I've used a lot of them. Got a couple more coming up here soon in the pipeline. So go check them out again at www.swanhinge.com. All right, guys. Like I said, we got Mr. Blake Thomas in the house from Vinyl Fence Warehouse. They do more than just vinyl. We actually got a delivery of Goliath posts from them yesterday that I get to install tomorrow. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Oh, look at that. We got Chris Steele in the house. Show us your next trick. Yeah, man. You know, I took the sign down a couple weeks ago because it kept falling on me. And I was like, maybe out of, you know, something crazy, it'll just stay up. But it obviously did not stay up. But all right, let's go ahead and get Mr. Blake Thomas on the stage and we'll kick it off from there.
What's going on, man?
You know, not a whole lot. Just having a sign fall on my head, camera doing weird stuff. How about you?
It's been a rough day for sure. You hear me okay?
Yes, sir, I can. I
Does
can.
it actually help if I turn my phone sideways, by the way?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man, that'd be great. We can see all of you.
Yeah, everything that we do for the social media is always vertical.
Yeah, vertical, man. Every time I have to, or not have to, but every time I make a reel on my little editing program, I get like 10 minutes in to make it, and I'm like, damn it, man, I forgot to change it to vertical.
Yeah, the orientation is always a big setback for us. A lot easier to hold the phone, one way or another sometimes, and not really know where the content's going to go. So yeah, man, I mean, almost never pick right.
Man, I hear that. All right, for the viewers who don't know you, haven't heard of you, will you just tell everybody just a little bit like about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Blake Thomas. I'm with Vinyl Fence Warehouse. We're out of Oklahoma City. We've been in business since 1992. Been in vinyl since about the mid to late 90s. We've really kind of just built a reputation, on quality installations and supplying materials, to contractors, homeowners, even the larger corporations. We've just kind of grown and filled a lot of shoes in the industry. Me myself, I've actually been on the fence line since I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Nice.
Just been doing it ever since. Working summers, and then got out of high school and was just ready to take over the family business.
That's awesome.
My dad started in the garage of our rent house back then. He was originally a pipeline welder by trade, so he was good at welding, fabrication. Got tired of being on the road, for months at a time, going job to job. And my mom finally said, "Hey, that's enough. We got to figure something else out." So he started, taking his skills and found, just welding and fabrication, doing a lot of custom ornamental, hand railings, storm doors, things like that. And then, finally somebody asked, for a fence. And, there was a lot more footage to a fence than there was just some hand railings and things. Yep. So that was really kind of the directions that he decided to take it. And after years and years of welding, he got tired of being so dirty is really how he puts it. So, he went to Fence Tech and seen vinyl, seen the capabilities of it, as well as, being kind of a new product, to the market.
Right.
So, he invested in the routing equipment that we still have today. And we've just been at the game ever since, man. Just grown step by step. We've had some great growth, just all over the years. Like I said, we started in the garage of a rent house, and we're now a large facility here in Oklahoma City that services nationwide. So we've really kind of grown a lot.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear that you took over the family business and it wasn't like given to you, like, hey, man, I want this, not just here. You're gonna do this. So do you guys still install fence or are we all the way focused towards the manufacturing side?
So we are probably about 90% materials only. We do, about 10% of it, we do still, do the installations for. We try to focus, on our flagship product, the Goliath Multi-Post. We pay top dollar, for our contractor, to do that specific work, because it is very high end homes and things like that. It's an expensive product, but it's a very, very high quality product. And so with that, we want our installations, to be the best out there. So we've all, as far as our family, we have moved out of the installation, being in the field all the time. And we found some really, really good contractors that work with us really closely. We recommend all the time, for handling top quality products and good installations.
Nice. Well, while we're on the same topic, so I went through you guys' website Sunday night and just was curious as to what else you offer besides that. Will you briefly run us down the list of what else you guys offer besides vinyl and Goliath Multi-Post?
Absolutely, man. So, again, we've always kind of had that domain of vinyl, and we took our, knowledge and expertise, in that and really kind of transferred it to a lot of the other stuff that we do. We've always had the best materials, the highest quality installations. And that, of course, is going to come, with only using good products.
Right.
So, again, we've always, had the vinyl, and, we've been with Homeland Vinyl Products for a really long time. Absolutely appreciate everything that they've done for us. Great suppliers to work with.
Great
Have
people
a
too.
close personal relationship with Barry Baker. I try to mention him on the air as much as I can because he's not social at all. So shout out to Barry Baker at Homeland, that's for sure.
There we go.
But yeah, man, we like I said, we were in the vinyl, and then Roger, my dad, he created the Goliath Multi-Post. There's a lot that really kind of went into it. A lot of engineering to it. Which is really kind of his background. He was this close to graduating college with a mechanical engineering degree, but again had to work and take care of four of his kids. So instead of finishing college, he started a business.
Nice.
And so again, it's really helped get us where we are today. But it's not just the Goliath Multi-Post. So we have obviously that, but we have the entire Goliath line. Which includes ornamental, rackable steel fencing, a no-dig chain link system, as well as some Black Ranch products. So kind of the whole premise there is, against that entire line of products, mostly around the black color, because that's kind of the hot color for all of that.
Yes.
But also, taking what is good on the market and what the majority of the market is using, and actually taking it one step above, like our 4-foot residential chain link that we have. It's a no-dig system, so we obviously have the longer posts, and then we also have a thicker gauge mesh. We use an 8 gauge as opposed to most 11s, and we do that, just so that we can say, hey, this is going to be stronger, it's going to last a little bit longer, and really be able to feel the quality, especially in those smaller budget type products.
Right.
And then our rackable iron that we have, the ornamental steel, the pickets on that, is really comparable to most of what you see out there. Let's just say the montage panel or something. But again, one step above. It's actually 2 inches taller. Pickets are a little bit bigger. Rails are a little bit beefier and heavier. Other than that, the entire system works the same. Then we have our Black Ranch products.
Right.
We're one of the only companies in the U.S. that have that in stock at all times. And then all of that, is still kind of used, towards having the better quality products. It's not just the cheap products. It's
Right.
the products that people want to, invest in and have last for, a very, very long time. Lifetime products are just absolutely what we push, Eric Vinyl is our house. And even getting into the stain now. We've actually started our own pre-stain line.
I saw that.
Calling it Goliath pre-stain. So, but just products that will last the customer a really long time. Something that most people are going to see as an investment. Not only in their money but in the time savings. And so that's really kind of our whole spiel there behind the Goliath fence systems.
Oh yeah, man, I love it. So, you recently had an open house, a demo day at your location, right?
Yes, sir, we did. Yeah, we had a bunch of guys out and had a great time. It's been, I think, 2 weeks now. Yeah.
You had Evan Gardner, Robert Whitaker, Tony Thornton. I think were some of the big names. Yourself.
Ryan from US Hammer.
Ryan.
Roy Branch from Wood Defender was there.
Okay.
Again, Barry Baker with Homeland, he was there. Can't forget Barry. Yeah, man, there was a lot of the usual suspects were there, and we had a great time. A lot of guys came out and learned a little bit about something. That's for sure.
Good.
You just recently had Evan on the podcast, correct?
Yeah, man, it's been I don't know a couple months, but I have him from time to time.
That dude blows me away.
He's
and I actually called with him last night or yesterday, and just let him talk about his products and everything like that. And the more intricacies you see in his products, just the more it blows me away.
Oh, dude, he's always trying to figure out how to make it better. And I remember telling him, I was like, man, you ever heard of that concept? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's like, yeah, but I can still make it better. I'm like, okay, man, I commend you fully. All of his little like attachments, the cleats for the different styles of posts, all that's really cool stuff, man. I'm super proud of what he's doing. So always love to shout out Wing Tools.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially, you know, him being a single owner guy, you know, basically kind of working, you know, out of his house with that, and growing with it, man. It'll go places, you know. And I told him that straight up. I was like, man, you know, we started off, you know, smaller than where you are, and I have no doubt, you know, if you stick to it, you'll be there, you know. It'll all be your own fabrication shop. You'll have workers out there building your tools. It'll be great. So just keep, you know, stick with it and keep innovating, man. Because he's like you said, you know, he's got that entrepreneur spirit, that drive to make better, and I don't think he's gonna stop. So you know, it'll just get better for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So so you guys installed some petitions, right?
We did. So we used, we had a setup kind of the day, you know, to where we had the speakers in the morning. And then we let Brian at US Hammer and Evan and a couple of the spectators get in there and actually pound some posts that we set out front of our display yard. And then we were able to come in and use all of Evan's tools to show the crowd, you know, how to use his tools and how fast and efficient it is. You know, if you'll make that investment in these tools. And he had 3 sections, you know, 4 posts, all stick built, you know, using his method while still explaining it, while still letting, you know, some people in the crowd try out the pounders and the tools. He had 3 sections done in less than an hour, him. And you know, to have, you know, a finished product like that is amazing. You know, there's not many companies, especially here in Oklahoma, that have really adopted the no dig.
Right.
And so, you know, I think it was a really big eye opener for a lot of people to see that.
Well, that's cool, man. I like to hear that. I love to hear that. Yeah. And you know, anybody who deals with any of the wing post style, I know there's freaking 15 of them now. Z post, Postmasters, Lifetime, Grizzly post, whatever you want to like call them. The biggest complaint that I always hear from guys is, man, it takes 2 people to run rails. And whenever he came out with that, I'm like, Wingman, I was like, you know what? I might actually give it another shot. I might actually give it a shot. But it's, some of the cooler things about these networking events or these demo day events, whatever you want to call them, is the conversations, is the like sidebar conversations. Like, even if somebody from the crowd doesn't get a chance to nail up a picket or screw in a rail or something, the sidebar conversations after those light bulbs have gone off is mainly the best part of most of these networking events.
Oh yeah, and I can promise you, you know, that there were multiple fence companies there that spoke with other fence companies, and now they're using each other for work already. Yeah. There was a guy that came that had, you know, he's not actually, you know, putting fence up. He's just wanting to be the salesman for his company, and we were able to hook him up with a trusted contractor that we use for a lot of stuff. And so, you know, just a lot of it, you know, is like Robert says, you know, is being in the room with the right people. And you know, for those that came, they knew who they were coming to see, you know, and then obviously that was going to be a lot of value. But I think a lot of them, you know, were you know, ready for some networking too, because there's not a whole lot of networking events here around Oklahoma where you really get a chance to talk. And so I think this was, you know, like you said, it's just always a good opportunity, you know, when you can get in and meet other fencers, you know, that aren't, you know, maybe even in the exact same city, you know, where they might be 20, 30 miles away, and you know, they're not really your competition. So, you know, if you can, you know, feed somebody else with work and they feed you, I mean, that's just, you know, great for the industry, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to kind of switch subjects. Whenever you took over the reins over at Vinyl Fence Warehouse, how did that go? How did that process go? Was it nice and smooth for you since you were already involved, or was there a lot of like kickback?
So we're still in the process of it. I don't want to take, you know, full ownership or you know, anything like that. We are family owned. My dad founded the company in 1992. He's still there with us. He still works there, you know, handles customers, and you know, he's basically the guy behind all of the business, making sure all the gears are clicking and things like that. And then me, you know, I'm basically our general manager, I would say. I take a lot on my shoulders as far as, making sure that we're moving forward in business. But then I also have my younger brother. Now, my younger brother does run, our installation crew. He's the salesman and, basically the GC and all of it. So he subs out the work, to one of our preferred contractors. But he's the one out there, putting his stamp of approval on everything.
Nice.
And, one of the biggest things, coming out with this new system was, if it's brand new, let's just say, you were starting a wood fence company from scratch. You could hop online and find a million pictures of wood fence. And, you just grab them, throw them on whatever. Well, you can't do that, when you come out with something brand new. So you've got to have some good pictures of this product installed. And the only way to get that is, to pay people well to put it up, and
Right.
make sure that everybody's got pride in it along the way. And so, like I said, we really focus on the quality of those types of things. And my younger brother does a great job of that. So there's three of us that are kind of in the driver's seat, I guess you could say.
Right.
We all kind of have our own direction, with the business as far as, hey, you're going to be, kind of running this portion. Blake takes care of this and Roger takes care of the rest of it on the back.
Well, that's awesome that it's still very close-knit family tied. That's really cool.
And honestly, it just kind of keeps getting closer. My shop foreman, me and him have been together since probably 2004, working together. So, a little over 20 years now. And I just hired actually one of my best friends from high school to come in and be a salesman for me. So I'm really excited about that. So, it's a really tight-knit group. We don't always get along all the time, but, we definitely make it work. So, yeah, I definitely like to, have people that I trust around me.
Right, man. And if you're not having any disagreements at all, then something's wrong, right? Especially if you're all in places of leadership. So, I mean, that's just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always times, where there's too many chefs in the kitchen, but somebody's got to get out there and cook too. So, clean the tables and take care of everything else. So there's plenty of things to do around that warehouse. So, we just all hop to it,
That's awesome. All right. We got a couple comments here. We got my wife in the comments. She says, "Hey guys. Hey babe.
How's it going?"
Your people, Vinyl Fence Warehouse says, "Let's go, Blake."
No, I got to admit, that would be my marketing director, Zach. He
There we
takes
go.
a lot for us.
There we go. And he says, "Iron tough vinyl fence install." Love it.
Yeah, and I would, like I was saying, the pictures that we needed, for this new system, with the system, we came out with all of our own literature for it. And so Zach Starr at Spark Biz, he's our in-house marketing guy. He's been the one that's really coordinated everything. We have full paper literature, for our entire line of products, from the multi-post, the chain link, the iron, the vinyl, our ranch products, even as well as our new pre-stain line, and kind of how we offer that. But all of that, the literature that we have, has all been, installations of our own and things like that. So, having all of that and putting it into that paper form, and getting it online on Facebook, our marketing director, Zach, has absolutely taken care of all that for us.
That's awesome. All right, man. We are going to cut to a commercial break real fast. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay.
Awesome.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70 plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National. J.C. Gurry Signs and Decals has been a trusted name in the sign industry since 1949, with all manufacturing done in-house from start to finish right here in the USA. With 75 years in outdoor signage and roots dating back to the 1920s, J.C. Gurry specializes in durable, high-quality signs and decals. In-house screen printing since the 1970s ensures every product meets the highest standards. Visit jcgurry.com for more information. Every aluminum sign includes Mylar lamination at no extra cost, extending product life in tough outdoor conditions. For unmatched quality and longevity, visit jcgurry.com. Struggling with a gate that drags on your sloped yard? Orlando Hinge Company has the solution, the Swan Hinge. Unlike standard hinges, the Swan Hinge lets double drive gates swing open smoothly up inclines, eliminating dragging and binding. Easy to install on vinyl, aluminum, wood, and chain link gates. It's built for durability and made to withstand the elements. And when your customer hears that, yes, their gates can work on a slope, you just made the sale. The Swan Hinge, designed by fencers for fencers. Made in the USA, lifetime warranty. Order today at swanhinge.com or email info@orlandohingecompany.com. The Swan Hinge, because every gate deserves to open smoothly.
All right, guys, we are back, and real quick, one last shout out to Mr. Fence Academy. If you are in the market to up the level of your fence company, whether it be the business side or installation side, go check out www.mrfenceacademy.com. All right, man. So I'm excited. Let's talk all about this like Goliath Multi-Post System. There are multiple types of infill, and that would be from different materials. There's colors. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this stuff, man. I know you said that your father took a long time to make this post, but like, man, that is some pretty cool stuff, man. I gotta say, like, I took it out of the truck yesterday, and while the guys were unloading it, I kind of popped one of the little things open. I was just looking at it. I was like, man, this is really cool. So, how long from idea to like, maybe not prototype, but like idea to like retail sales was that process?
Total, I would probably say, somewhere between a 9 to 10 month process.
Really fast.
And manufacturing overseas, obviously does have a lot of time lapse.
Right.
You're dealing with people that are, asleep when you're awake.
Right.
So there's that lag that's always going to be there. Whenever he first had his prototype design, which really and truly we still have it, but it was just 5 pieces of aluminum tubing that was just welded together, just to kind of show, hey, this is what we want to do with it. Some of the dimensions and things like that. But once we had, some dimensions off of it and kind of a couple, intricacies of the product, if you look at it, there's little ridges that are certain shapes. And, once it, went from concept basically to an actual system to where everything's working together, probably took the drawing process 6 to 8 weeks, I would say he did. But again, he definitely had experience in that from, his mechanical engineering, college studies. But by the time you get all of that, overseas, get it all approved, get samples, and then finally get your first shipment, you're probably looking at anywhere between 9, 10, maybe a year, before we actually had product in our hands.
Right.
So once we got it here, we obviously got it in the ground as soon as we could. And then, there were some things we didn't like. There were some little tweaks here and there, that we needed to make, some adjustments. And, what we really like to, emphasize on the inside, at Vinyl Fence Warehouse is, hey, if it's not working, we got to fix it.
Right.
If it's working, hey, that's great. Let's build on it. But if it's not working, we got to change and we got to make sure it's right. So, making those adjustments and things like that took a lot of time. And right whenever the system itself, was kind of perfected, I guess you could say, how we wanted it. We made some adjustments, over the whole tariff ordeal. as far as aluminum prices, skyrocketing and things like that. And here recently, what we've actually done to mitigate a lot of that is brought the actual manufacturing of the aluminum products back to the U.S.
Oh, awesome.
So, we're really trying, to keep everything, more homegrown as much as we can. We went to China, for a lot of the manufacturing simply because we really didn't know of any other place that we could go. And lo and behold, there's actually a company about 5 miles up the road from us that said that they had the manufacturing capabilities. So we took a tour of their plant, and we'll actually be receiving our first shipment of that probably in about 3 weeks.
That's awesome, man. That is really awesome. Like bringing it back home.
Yeah, and I look at that a lot of different ways. Whenever you order, from whenever you import anything, you're ordering an entire container's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a large order. You're sending your dollars, out of the U.S. and you'll never see them again. So there's that thought, as well as just the time that it takes, to get those products over here. So with the changes that we've made, to the actual system itself, the little tweaks here and there, plus getting everything back stateside, will really help out as far as lead times. Help with any kind of major price increases. Obviously, there's no additional tariffs now, so we're really looking for things to really kind of be stable with where it's at.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you said that when you got the first shipment and there were some things that you didn't like. I kind of want to like piggyback on that. So when you first got it, and obviously really only your dad had it in his head of how all of this goes together. How did the what am I trying to say? How did the process look to not just really teach himself, but teach you guys how to put this system together?
Well, that was kind of, what the whole tweaking process was, I guess.
Right.
When we first ordered it in, we had a couple different lengths, and, let's just say we had a 12-foot post, a 9-foot post. We were originally thinking, hey, we'll just take this 12-foot post, cut it in half. We could use it for a 4-foot tall fence. But then, we had scrap from some other pieces. You'll see that there's covers that will cover the sides of the post that doesn't get used. So, we had those pieces, were really long, adjusting, how things were, the brackets for them. So, designing all of that without making too many, crazy changes, because every time you make a new aluminum part, that's a new aluminum die, and that's a big cost. Then you've got the samples and how long it takes to get here, and all of that lag. So, moving quickly, we were able to make some changes, basically just as far as length, a little bit of the design, some of the packaging, things like that, that were done pretty quickly. And I would say probably after about a year and a half of, how the system was, putting it up, these certain ways, we introduced our WPC product, the wood plastic composites, basically as a 7/8 solid, tongue and groove option. And those right there, that whole addition to the system has really taken it in a new direction. And it's just made it skyrocket. So, everybody loving this, black frame, with a multicolored, infill option that's, going to last a long time, and, look great year after year and be new and modern, and also, changeable. If you don't like the way it looks, just change a couple things on it, after a couple of years. So, being versatile, in, not only the homeowner or contractors, lane, it's been very changeable on our end as well. And so, like I said, we're kind of at that point where things are really solid with it, and we're really happy with how it's doing, how it's performing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So whenever this first came out, I messaged you because I was super interested in it. And I asked you if this was going to be able to be drivable, which I think now it is, right?
Yes, we do have a no dig option for this. Basically, I've created what I call a no dig spike. So again, kind of back to the, hey, we had these original post lengths, had a 12-foot, 9-foot, taking that 12-footer, cutting it in half. Those things just really weren't working with the system. There was a lot of waste. And, whenever you take that post and divide it down per foot, you cut 6 inches off, that's a considerable amount of waste.
Yep.
So, we found out, hey, contractors didn't like this. And that's really one thing, that we really try to emphasize, is our customer relations. I'm personal friends, with a lot of fence companies. We take the time to conversate, we text each other all the time. And so I really listen, to a lot of the feedback. I want to know how we're performing, obviously. So, whenever I kind of heard, hey, you've got a 12-foot post, but we're still cutting 6-8 inches off of it. Okay, well, let's maybe just shorten that post and, offer just a little lower priced.
Right.
And then, for a 6-foot tall version, we moved from a 9-foot to an 8.5 foot. And then we also have our 80-inch post, which works great for a 4-foot tall fence. So dual use on that post, though, and this did take a lot of engineering and thought behind, was to use that 80-inch post as a no-dig post on top of this drive spike that I created. So basically, you take the drive spike, which has a 4-foot, 2 3/8 on the bottom of it. There's a 3/8 plate that's on top of that, and then an 1.5 inch leg that sticks up out of the top of it. So you drive that whole thing down. Chris Gass has a little bit of experience with those. Just sent some to Keith Pace at Texarkana Fence not very long ago, and guys are telling me they're working great. So you drive that plate down to the ground, and that is basically the bottom of your fence.
Right.
Slide that post over, throw some screws in it. You have a bracket that just slides in the bottom, and it's just assembly from there. So there's actually only 2 fasteners per section in that whole process when you do a no dig.
That's really cool, man. That's some really cool stuff. All right, so we got a lot of comments. Let's get to those real quick. Like JC Gurry Signs and Decals says, "Hey guys, we will miss you at our anniversary party." I know. I wish I would be there, but
out in Vegas, is that this week?
Yeah.
I'd love to make it out to that show sometime.
Yeah. Fun show, man. Fun show. All right, we got Orlando Hinge Company. He says, "Hey guys, what is going on? Goliath Fence Systems, yeah, baby." All right, Mr. Josh Clark's in the house. He says, "I love the Goliath Fence System. I am on a roll with them right now." Yes, you are, buddy. Yes, you are.
Josh. There's a reason you got that DeWalt chain. Top salesman for sure.
What's funny is one of the guys on the crew, he asked me today, and we were by ourselves for, I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes. He was like, "Hey, is Josh really sponsored by like DeWalt?" I was like, "Dude, come on now."
Just tell everybody, yes, absolutely.
I was like, "Seriously? Is that a serious question?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm serious." I was like, yeah, sure. We'll go with that." But that was awesome, man. I wish I was going to be there to see him wear that chain around. But he says, Josh also says, "I need a 10-foot tall version." No, we don't. No, we don't, Blake.
Well, it would be possible. And quite honestly, since we do have our manufacturer, almost in-house, we could actually, we do have a lot more versatility as far as, the things like that we could order. We could order a bunch of 16-footers if somebody needed. The structural design of the post itself, it's definitely one of the strongest, fences out there on the market, especially when it comes to anything residential. We have done some 9-foot tall with our 12-foot post that we had, and zero issues. As long as you're setting that post, the way it should be set. I mean, it's extruded aluminum and a very structural sound design. That bears a lot of wind load.
Yes,
so definitely among the strongest fence in the industry. And that's really what we try to stand behind with our name. Is that everything's big, it's bulky, it's strong as all get out, and so we can get you a 10 or 12-foot version for sure, Josh.
Oh yeah, look at that. He says yes. All right, Josh, we got you. We got you taken care of. Chris Hearn says, "What's up, fellas? What is going on, man?"
Chris.
Yeah. I like me some Chris Hearn, man. He's a cool guy. I see
a lot of his stuff, man. That's what I really like about the whole social thing that the fence guys have. I was actually talking to Evan Gardner last night about that. Is hey, there's really not any other industries that are this open and this sharing of their work, and there's a lot of disagreeing, and there's some hate out there. But I mean, I've yet to see another trade community that's anything like the fence industry.
Man, it's wild. And like especially if you've never been to any of the fence shows, the fence show in Vegas or Fence Tech, and the first time you go, your eyes are really open. Like, wow, this industry is a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I'd be like, yeah, it really is. It's almost like, going to Vegas for the first time, or
yeah,
New York, seeing New York City or Miami. It's like, this is a lot different than anything I've ever seen. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, yeah, man, it's great. It's a cool thing to see, and it's really cool. Also, just like you were saying, how we can bounce off ideas, we can have disagreements, love each other, hate each other. There's not really another industry out there that has all of these social media pages that are not just about dull men's post or something like that. And it's been really fun to not just sit on the sidelines and watch, but like be a part of it over the last couple of years as well.
Oh yeah, man, that's really where we got the name for our podcast. Behind the fence. We
Yeah.
wanted to kind of take some of the guys, or let people see or hear from some of the things or people that you wouldn't typically hear from. And ask them the questions that they just don't always get asked.
Right.
So yeah, man, showing people kind of behind the scenes stuff. Letting people in on hey, this is how this needs to be done. Or this is how it's done, and showing people around facilities and things like that. It's kind of a rare treat sometimes. So having social media is a place that you could all share something like that in one place. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. So back to the like Goliath post. You said WPC. What does that stand for again?
So WPC is wood plastic composite.
Okay. Okay. All right.
They've
That's
come
fine.
a long way in all throughout the years. The versions that we have now, it's a really good product. Basically, there's like it's a co-extrusion to where there's an outside cap, and it's very very similar to the chemical makeup of vinyl. So you're going to get a lot of really good long years without fading. And then everything on the inside is both recycled plastic and wood. So
Okay.
it being sealed on the inside, it's not going to rot or deteriorate. So the inside of that board is a lot like the texture of a Trex board.
Mhm.
Sure everybody's familiar with that. And then the outside, is going to be a little bit more hard and rigid, and be a little bit more like a vinyl product.
Hmm, that's really cool. And then you can infill that with vinyl as well, right?
Yeah, so with the vinyl, we actually have two different ways for that. So the post itself, has 1.5 inch channels on the three sides of it. So that's made for our vinyl rail, which is a pocket style rail, which is what you use for the BPC products, or a 7/8 vinyl, or even a 7/8 cedar. Or you can use that same 1.5 inch channel and fit in an 1.5 inch vinyl rail, which is what we use for our spaced semi-privacies, which we have those available in a lot of the colors from Homeland as well. So a lot of people use that for privacy screens, go around ACs and things like that. But just another option that basically you now have this lifetime fence that's easy to get parts for. We have all of these things in stock at all times, and it's just going to give you that look that's really only available with the Goliath system.
Right. Right. Um, Now I've never put this together, so I'm only going off of what I've known and seen. Whenever you're putting this together, are the bottom rails kind of like a greenwood fence, to where you can have them wherever, and there's just like a locking mechanism up against the post, or do those have like a spot that they just go in?
So the post itself, it's going to have that 1.5 inch channel all the way down
Mhm.
the top to bottom, and then there's a small U bracket that snaps right into the post.
Got it.
You're just going to raise it up or down, to the desired spot, and run a screw into it.
Okay.
And so basically, that's I like to whenever I explain it to people, I'm like, hey, it's just like the bottom rail of a vinyl fence, or the bottom hole on a vinyl post. So if you have that bracket already set, you can kind of take your post and set it to height. If you can't do that, then hey, you can obviously set your post, and then you can still put your bracket in, raise it up or down to wherever you need it, and just screw it into place there. But that's basically just what's going to hold your bottom rail.
Yeah. So it's almost just like the like Greenwood fence products. So you can like move it up or down if you want to, and then just put that little locking clip in.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. And as far as your gates come, what do those things look like? Are they prefabbed or are they built on site?
So we do offer a prefab service. We, not everybody has a fab table or the means to even really build one sometimes. So we do have our fab shop that we do a lot of fabrication in. But basically, you just take one of the panels, and we have two U-shaped extrusions that will just slide on the end of it. It gets squeezed together on a square table. We rivet it together on both sides, and whenever it's fully done, I mean, it's extremely rigid. It's not going to come out of square. It's really built for a long-lasting gate. That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Well, I mean, that pretty much hit every question that I wanted to ask you. You got anything for the listeners or the viewers?
As just to the system,
or just something to end with?
If anybody's interested in the Goliath fence products or anything that we offer, you can always check us out at vinylfencewarehouse.com. I am very active on social media. I try to be friendly and talk to everybody. So you can always email me at blake@vinylfencewarehouse.com. You can find me on Instagram, Blake Thomas Fence Tycoon, or just friend me here on Facebook. Ask me any questions that you need. I get people from corporations, emailing me, messaging me directly on Facebook. I have customers that text me, of all kinds. So I'm here to help the industry, here to spread the knowledge, and really bring everybody, quality materials and quality installations.
Well, that's awesome, man. Hey, man, thank you for taking time out of your night to come on here and talk about fence, which I'm sure you've been doing all day long.
It's an absolute pleasure, man.
Yeah.
That's all I care to talk about.
Right. Same here, man. I look forward to installing your product tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. Got a couple more coming up, so I will shoot you some pictures of the finished install and let you know what I think about it.
Awesome, man. I can't wait. Really, we love all the feedback. We love to include your pictures. With all of our social media stuff. So we try to give everybody some credit. Whenever we take your stuff and post it out there. Yeah, man, love to see it. All
right. Well, hey, man, thank you again for coming on. And with that, man, you have a wonderful rest of your night. All right.
Now you too, Billy. Thanks everybody for coming in, and thanks again for having me, Billy.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Man, take it easy.
All right, guys. So we got the inside scoop on Goliath. Awesome stuff. I'm excited to put my hands on it tomorrow. We got a great show lined up for you guys next week. Everybody who's in Vegas, y'all be safe, have fun, don't blow a whole bunch of money at the casino, and go learn some stuff, man. It's going to be a great time for those of you guys who are in Vegas. And with that said, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Later, guys.